Hello, combat here, and it's that time of the week again where we're going to be looking at 10 decks of the week. I'm also going to be doing, just before we get into the video, I'm going to put out a post asking for viewer decks. I can review them and see what's good, and then next week, instead of like 10 decks of the week, I'll do the 10 community decks of the week. So I'm going to try and get that post out today or tomorrow so you can post your decks. But for now, let's get into the decks for this week. So straight up, we kind of got a zoo deck, right? Now that Professor X and Hela stuff's a little bit nerfed, I'm going to say Hela's a little bit nerfed because I'm still running into Hela, and Professor X is kind of dead, right? It's just pretty much a poor-man's storm right now, which is sad to see, but also amazing. So, zoo stuff. Obviously, very open to a Killmonger, this stuff, right? Because you want to kind of get your tokens down. So you can get like a cheap Mockingbird, you can get your Coal Obsidian down, and you got your buffs and stuff like that. So there's ways to win if you run into Killmonger, but Killmonger kind of stops your tempo, which can be a little bit annoying, but you can also bait it, right? If you play like a Squirrel Girl Ant-Man and they Killmonger and you get your Mockingbird down anyways, do you care? Not really, because you can shine it to fill stuff up anyways. Next up, we have Tribunal deck again, as always. Like I said, Professor X stuff dead, right? So these kind of combo decks where you needed all the board locations are back. So Tribunal, although it never truly died out, right, it's still there because it kind of went into Hela very well, right? Went into Hela really well because you could just match the power of Hela, and Hela didn't really disrupt you, right? You just did your thing, they did theirs, and if you drew right, you won. Pretty much it. Next up, kind of a Hitmonkey bounce deck. It's very interesting that this one's got Titania in it. I never really would have run Titania in here myself because it can be a little annoying bouncing around, but you know, I take these decks from all over, but these aren't my decks, right? These are just decks I find to share. Try and find some interesting decks for you all. Some different ones. Then next up we got Darkhawk Junk. It's not a new type of deck, right? It's just Sersi just came in here and filled the slot that like Lady Deathstrike did for a while, which is your secondary option for your hood and stuff. But this is just a better version because you get to upgrade and get some good stuff, right? So you get to play Sentry down without any fear right now because he's not Shang-Chiable anymore. And then you Sersi the Void into a 5-drop. Like, yeah, pretty good. Next up, Silver Surfer stuff. Yeah, Wong's kind of had a free reign right now. It's kind of crazy. I did run into a lot of Cosmo today, so maybe the Wong arm reveal stuff is gonna come to an end soon. But Cosmo just feels a little slow. I'm not gonna lie, if arm reveal stuff keeps happening, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Cosmo buff. It's 1 power. Hopefully not, because I like combo decks and stuff like that, but I've seen a lot of on reveal stuff doing really well right now, so maybe Cosmo gets a little. The Phoenix Force deck that I've done a video on, it'll be out tomorrow. Again, like I said, Professor X is gone, right? So you get to play a little freedom in these combo decks. I'm doing a deck on that video on Phoenix Force. I don't really want to go over it. Next up, we kind of got on reveals type stuff with Namora and stuff like that. You could run Sersi in this if you have Sersi, right? Because then you can upgrade and stuff like that. But this is kind of just like you're looking for buffs, and then you've got your Jeff, your Nightcrawler, and your Nocturne. You can play in a lane. You can buff them up with Namora if you want, with like Wong, Namora, Odin stuff, and have one big, powerful card. Or you can just buff them up, move them around, and White Tiger in the lane. Or you got White Tiger, you got Sage, Ironheart. You know, you got all these plays. I do think the version with Sersi of Namora looks it's a little bit more fun. I don't know about if it's better. It's a little bit more fun, right? I like the RNG side of things, so I think it's a little bit more fun. Next up, we have a Ronin deck. Well, it's a Sarah Ronin deck. It's kind of just Sarah. Like, it's like the Sarah. Well, this was kind of where the Sarah deck was at, right? multiple times where it's just like, it's just full of tech cards, right? You've got Invisible Woman, Killmonger, Invisible Woman to hide your Killmonger for zoo type stuff, Mobius to deal with any energy cheats, Red Guardian to stop some strong cards early, Nocturne for some just a good card, and location control. Gladiator's just strong. Miss Marvel adds a load of stuff, right? And then you've got Sarah to cheat all this stuff out, and then you've got stats and stuff. It's just it's a very good deck. It kind of has a little bit of everything. It is kind of missing a Shang-Chi. Probably. Shang-Chi would be nice in here, but at the same time, you're doing enough. Like, you've got Shadow King in here as well, Fundamental Shadow King. And, right? You've kind of got enough in here that you don't need the Shang-Chi. The Shang-Chi would be nice, but I think it's just a little overkill, right? Next up, we have Loki. Loki's in an interesting spot because you can be super flexible with this. The Loki deck I did this week, which I really enjoyed. I think I had Sersi and Mockingbird in here because you could get all these cards. Like, you use all your on reveal. I didn't run the Fina package. One, because I was kind of over it, right? I was putting Fina Kitty in every deck, Fina Kitty Angela in every deck, and it was kind of boring me. So I went like more like proper Loki with Agent 13 and stuff like that, I think. Or like Mariah Hill, I think it was actually. I went and stuff like that, and then you get the cards. You can Loki them, or you can mock Sersi them, and then you got Mockingbird for cheap. I went that route, but this is also a great one where it's just kind of tempo Kitty Fina stuff. And then you've got the Loki in this deck's kind of just an extra win condition, right? You get the card and you're like, okay, my hand's kind of dead. Let's Loki this. And the last deck is... This was the weekend mission deck, right? That I did yesterday? Yeah. Oh, was it yesterday? I think so, yeah. This was really fun. It covered all of the decks for weekend missions. I did a lot. Kind of a mix between Surfer and on reveal stuff, right? So you've got your freeze down here for your Surfer to go crazy. You got some early tempo on the Spider-Ham White Widow, and then you've got the big powerhouse in Wong, White Tiger, Sersi, Odin type stuff. So that's it for the decks. Let's talk about the new card this week, which was Sersi, since she's right here. Honestly, this card is so fun. Is she really good? Probably not. Is she worth getting? I think so. I think she's just so fun. I think she'll always have a place around, like, in meta decks. She might be the weakest card in some of the meta decks, but I think she just offers a lot, right? It's just so good to be able to... It keeps your opponent on your toes, as well as you. Yes, there is a lot of downside to random cards, but there's a lot of up, right? Like, I've seen people comment, like, if you transform into a 6, there's a chance of Destroyer. There is. There's also a chance of a Doom. Inferno, right? Magneto. Any Tribunal could be a bit iffy, right? But there is a lot of cards it could turn into. Like, obviously, you've got Null, could be bad. Zola could be fun, right? There's a lot of fun stuff. So the card's more on the fun side, but I still think she's a decent enough card. She offers you some plays. Anyways, that's enough rambling for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace.